Alright, hello everyone, and welcome back to Chris Allen Recap number 26, coming off the very sad one that was 25. I'm still sad, but that's waxing and waning. So, as per usual, this is unscripted, it's probably going to be very sloppy, but people seem to enjoy it, so I shall keep doing them. Now, as also I often do, we have an image here. And to the untrained eye, this might seem like a trash can. And it is. But to the trained eye, this is something else. This is something else entirely. And it is the hint to what this video is about. So, finally ruining and spoiling the surprise. To the trained eye, this trash can is Destiny 2. Now, this video, like I just said, is unscripted for the most part. I wrote down some ideas for this one because I wanted to remember them. But it's going to be me mostly spitballing and just thinking about why I don't like Destiny 2. And why I do like it. Because, you know, when you say you don't like a game, either one of two things are true. Either one, you don't like the game and you don't play it because you don't like it. Or two, you really love the game, and you just say you hate it, but you've played it for over 100 hours. If you say you don't like a game, and you've played it for over 100 hours, you either have loved it or gotten sick of it, or you're just insane. I don't know what else to tell you. But, excuse me, I'm eating pickles. I don't know why that matters to my burp, but whatever. So, I'm here to explain why I dislike Destiny 2, and for the most part, this is me trying to give my opinion on just how things are with Destiny 2, what I've seen, and just talk about what is allowed with this game, because this is actually pretty crazy that any game is getting away with this, because as far as I could think, right, Destiny has had a very tailored history. It's, you know, the billion-dollar game, Destiny 1. Where the fuck did all that money go? Like, this game is a high-profile game. It got everyone's hype. It has a massive audience that's, again, waxed and waned, much like my sadness, over time. And then Destiny 2 came out. You know, everyone loved it. Then everyone hates it. And I'm going to be talking a little bit later on about the cycle of just how Destiny goes. But in general, Destiny's history is vast. And my love for it is vast, too. Destiny is an MMO... Or no, it's an FPS shooter dressed as an MMO. An MMO clothing. It's not really a MMO, but it has MMO-like stuff, right? And because of that, I really liked it. Now, in general, I love FPSs. I didn't know if I liked MMOs, and now playing Final Fantasy, I still don't know if I like one. But in general, they're not bad, but the shooter type of Destiny and just the polish and the visuals is great. You know, no one's arguing that. The problem of why I don't want to go back to Destiny 2, even though I probably will eventually when Witch Queen maybe comes out, and that's a part of the cycle we'll go over, is basically because I'm sick of how I'm being treated in Destiny, and I'm just sick of taking shit. And I feel like in life people are used to shoveling shit into their mouth to a certain degree. You're willing to eat a certain amount of bullshit, but once it becomes too great, and this varies from person to person, you kind of say, okay, this is enough. And for Destiny, I've had enough. Even though in the shit there's little, like, I guess candy pills or drugs mixed in to make some of it good. But they've lessened the amount of drugs in the shit, and if anything, have it increased the shit that we're getting, and I've just had enough of it. I'm not willing to stomach this anymore. So, what do I mean by this? In general, the main thing that I have a problem with Destiny, the biggest like clowning point I have, because that's what I basically do. If there's anything wrong with the game, or anytime a game is bad or something, I'll clown on it. And those are the reasons, you know, they may be joking reasons I clown on something, but those are still the reasons nonetheless. So the first clowning point on Destiny 2 is there's no fucking new content, right? For the longest time, and this is what really gets me, because Bungie's another reason I don't like Destiny 2, and their lies. They're a studio that has lied to us, and it's fucking hilarious. I love saying this. That's the second clowning point, but we'll get to that. The first clowning point is there's no new content. Basically, almost all of it's reused. I don't know what the fuck is going on at Bungie's fucking studio, but what the fuck is happening when an entire content drop for the most part, well, not entire, so most of a content drop or a season is based on old content. Hey guys, we're giving you back Atheon that we released many years ago. Aren't you happy? We're making almost no real changes to it. I think they touched it up a little bit. I'm not too sure because I don't play the damn game. But from what I heard, they touched it up a little bit, but for the most part, it's Atheon. It's Vault of Glass again. And it's like, okay, are you guys excited? Well, yeah, you know, it's cool to play it again, but hey, can we get, you know, some new content? Oh, you must mean the public event. You want more of the... No, Bungie. No, we please... don't give us more. We don't want more public events as, like, daily content loops for a season. Maybe you could, you know, give us a strike. A strike? What did you just say? A strike? What is that? What? That's not for you. You don't want that. You want public events. No, Destiny. Actually... we'd really like a strike, you know. You used to give us, like, 3 at one point for Taken King. You remember that? Oh, Taken King. Yeah, we did really good then. But, listen, most we could do is we'll give you a strike that's been out for a year on PlayStation. You happy with that? I guess so, Destiny. Can we at least get a new exotic? New exotic, you say? Okay, we'll give you that one. We'll give you a season exotic. But hey... how about we give you Gallahorn again? I guess, Destiny, but, you know, we kind of have weapons to compete with it, and you're probably gonna not have it be in its, you know, former glory where if you didn't have it, you get kicked out of raid groups. Well, yeah, obviously, you know, we don't want people to get kicked out. Okay, this is being stupid. I'm going too long with this. But yeah, so it's like, their whole thing, which I really dislike, is they advertise old content sold as new, and I guess eventually it's okay, right? Because look at Call of Duty, you know, this isn't a Chris Allen recap without me mentioning zombies. Look at Call of Duty, right? Excuse me. Zombies Chronicles 1 is like what I believe to be still the best-selling DLC for Call of Duty ever. And it's filled with just zombies maps, no multiplayer, no nothing, and it's all remade zombies maps, just updated graphics. So there's obviously a market of people who want remakes. And I agree that after a certain amount of time, it makes sense to make them because people haven't experienced them. And for Atheon, I would also make the argument it's good that they brought it back because there's a lot of people who never played Destiny 1 and, you know, I wouldn't advise them to go back on Destiny 1 and do it because it's going to take fucking forever unless they're really into Destiny in general. But I don't mind them bringing back old raids that weren't in this game. I really don't mind. It's actually a good thing, I would say. But the problem is that's the main selling point and that's what irks me. What irks me is they don't make either new content or good enough, actually good new content. I just said that twice, fuck. Actually good new content. You know, public event, oh boy. They don't make actually good new content, and then they just give us old content, and they're like, okay guys, this is what you have for this. This is the big reveal, Atheon. And you have this for a couple months, and you have to make, you know, you have to have your fun with it. And it's like, why? We're just getting reused shit. And this isn't only the problem. Again, I don't have a problem with reused shit, but the new shit has to come too with it. And it has to be good. And from what I've heard, it's actually pretty decent in the new season, the new event. I don't know what the fuck it's called, because again, I don't play the damn game anymore. But I heard it's actually not bad, which is good. But I don't know. I'm just really sick of them, how much emphasis they put on old content. That's my main issue. They put too much emphasis on giving us stuff we've already had. And that's not even the worst problem. The worst problem... well, not, you know, they're all worst problems, but I can't say which one is the worst overall. But another big problem I have with this whole shit, with Destiny and what Bungie does, is they take away old content. I wouldn't mind you adding old content in if you didn't take away content we have already. So this is where this kind of baffles me that this is allowed, and they've explained themselves, and I think many people have accepted it. And for the most part, I have too, because we're all ignorant. We don't know on the technological side how it actually works, so we have to take their word for it of, okay, they said this needs to be done. because of memory requirements, because of space requirements, because of whatever they say, because most of us are too stupid to understand it, we basically have to take them at face value, even if it could be done in a better way. It's just either not cost efficient for them, or they don't think they'll make enough money to actually make it worthwhile, which could be possible, we just don't know. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, and basically I don't even know the details because, again, I don't play this fucking game, even though I did love it back in the day. Oh my god. And I still like think of sometimes I really do want to go back. But there was content in the game, you know, base game, DLCs and stuff, raids, strikes, stuff like that added in, planets even added in, that because they're adding new content that in my opinion is a little lackluster, not even that good, they're taking away old content because of memory and space requirements. I believe that's the reason. So what does this mean? This means, and remember, this is prior to it becoming free to play for the base game. If you, okay, let me put it to you in this perspective. I've paid for Destiny 2, stupidly, of course, and I've paid for the DLCs, Osiris, Warmind, this, that. So now, if I go back to that game, having paid for this content, for this DLC, if I go back onto that game, I have to basically hope that that content's in rotation. So I have paid for something that has been taken away and I cannot do anymore. And I've paid for it in the past. Now, I forgot what DLCs they added for free. I think it might have been Osiris and Warmind, ironically enough, but there's DLCs out there. There's probably content out there that they've added that you have had to pay for to get, that you cannot access anymore until they decide to bring it back in rotation. Are you kidding me? I cannot think of any other game out there, I really can't, if there is, please tell me, of any other game that you can pay for content that will be taken away from you that you cannot access if you want to until the person, or until the company brings it back, until the developer, whoever the fuck, brings it back into the game or decides you can do it again at that time. I've never seen that before. I've never seen a game so backwards that they take away content that you can and have paid for and they restrict your access to it. It's so backwards to me. And again, this is like okay, I can imagine this out of an indie company or something. But this is Destiny. This is the billion-dollar game. This is Bungie, a well-known studio. How the fuck? Maybe it's because they're Bungie, this is allowed to be, you know, they get away with this. But like, oh my god, I've never heard of this. It's so crazy. Are you kidding me? So that brings me to my next point, the third clowning point. Of Bungie in general has made a fucking fool of themselves in my eyes. And this is a big part of it. It's how you're viewed, how you keep yourself up, right? So, excuse me. To me, it's not a good look, just for your game in general, when something has been asked by your community for a long time, transmog, and it comes out, and then you make it in one of the worst ways possible. And, you know, I'm not going to sit here and explain how it works because there's videos about that and I don't really remember. But transmog was done absolutely fucking terrible in Destiny 2. Terrible. And we've been asking for it since Destiny 1. And they're like, okay, our game's dying. Oh, we'll finally give it to you here. Just, like, pay money. We want you to pay money for it. Well, thanks, Bungie, you know. We kind of know you want money for this game. We know you just want money. But that's not true. I'm joking with that one, actually. I know they do care about their game to an extent, but I just think they're a little incompetent. But in general, right? Bungie has made so many stupid, crazy mistakes with the game. They've released content that just isn't good. They've had, like, content droughts. They released public events as, like, whole season things, which pisses me the fuck off and is really what was the nail in the coffin for me, that a new season, a new content drop was just a public event you have to do over and over and over again with barely little else to do. It's like, holy shit. So Bungie has made a lot of missteps, and this all leads to a cycle of Bungie fucks up, Bungie keeps fucking up, their game gets threatened, their game starts dying, they have to kick it into high gear and shove a dick up their ass, and then they have to make the big, great, once a year mega DLC that draws everyone back in, makes everyone forget how shitty the game was for about a couple months, and then it gets shitty again because they can't crank them out fast enough. So, and that's my next point that I'll get into more of, like, what can they do to really alleviate this? And it's hard, but I'll explain it, because, you know, I don't want to just rag on them the whole time, because, again, they do stuff that's good, but I'm fucking pissed off. This is a rant video. So, that's the general cycle. The general cycle is Destiny's good because of a great DLC that comes out once a year. It's good for a couple months, if at all, and then it goes back to being shit. And then they have to do the cycle over again of releasing good DLC to get people back and do all this stuff. Now, the problem is, Bungie themselves, again, have made fools of themselves. And the best thing I always mention this, Bungie used to be part of Activision Blizzard, right? They had their game on the Blizzard client and everything, on Blizzard Launcher, Battle.net. And then they split, and they basically did a scumbag ass move. They were like, yeah, all the problems with the game, the reason it's so bad, the reason why we're crunched for time, why we can't put out good content, this, that. Basically, the whole reason you guys don't like this game, it's because of Activision. They did it. They're the ones who did it, right? And I'm not even exaggerating too much here. The guy, I forgot what his name is, but it's the guy who does all the fucking Bungie videos. He basically said, now we're excited to give into the hands of the fans a Bungie run Destiny. That is the biggest jab you could do to Activision. They basically pinned all their problems on them, and they're like, yeah, now that Bungie, now that we're running the show, we're going to show you how our game should have been, and you're going to love it, and it's going to be great again. Watch. And then guess what happened? They fucking pissed themselves, and the game fucking almost died again because the cycle continued. And now guess what? Now we're continuing the cycle, and Witch Queen's going to come out, which is going to, quote-unquote, fix everything. Oh boy, for a couple months. But it's just like, how many times can something happen where you don't start to expect it, right? Destiny 1, it happened. Destiny 2, it happened. And it keeps happening in both fucking games. And if you know what I'm talking about, you know. It's just ridiculous. A Bungie run Destiny. Yeah, you know what we got with a Bungie run Destiny? Shitty transmog and the same content over again. Thanks, Bungie. Is this a Bungie run Destiny where it takes forever for actual good content to come out? Because I think the cycle got even worse. I don't even think it's every year we get a good DLC now. Last year's big DLC was what? I don't even remember. Was it the one with the Taken guy and the Crow was good? I don't even know. I don't even fucking remember. Of course, I'm not in Destiny, so it's not fair to say if I don't remember it, that doesn't mean it was big. But I'm just saying I don't remember it, so I don't know. Destiny, or Bungie in general, I keep fucking saying Destiny. Bungie in general has made so many missteps. I feel like I have a tainted lens now. Everything I see that they do, I just feel like is wrong or is bad. And it's because they've just soiled themselves too many times. It's like, I feel like they just can't do anything right anymore. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But they've ruined my vision of them. They used to be a company that was great, that I thought could do no wrong. And then they fell, and then they blamed it on someone else, and we believed them. And then it turned out we shouldn't have. But in general, now we're going to move on to the gameplay loop. So the cycle, as I said, is, or what it's become, is we hopefully get one strike that's not old or from PlayStation. Hopefully. We probably get a public event or some sort of, menagerie style thing, which they always do now. And then we basically twiddle our dicks and twiddle our thumbs till we hopefully get a raid, which is maybe once or twice a year, I believe. Again, I'm not sure. And hopefully one of those raids is the big DLC that adds a new subclass or it changes something really big with the game and brings everyone back. But I feel like they've started to miss with even those two. I don't know if they did a big update last year. Let me actually check. Let me search up Destiny 2 DLCs in order. Here we go. All Destiny 2 DLCs and expansions. So we have Curse of Osiris, ass. Warmind, pretty okay. Forsaken, this was the one that brought everyone back. Forsaken was great. Then we have Shadowkeep. Okay, not bad. Beyond Light, this is where I stopped playing. I stopped playing before this. So Beyond Light, I guess, was the big one, and it introduced Stasis, which everyone fucking hated. Then we have Witch Queen and everything else. So yeah, I guess it was Beyond Light that brought everyone back, but I feel like it didn't last and wasn't as good as the other ones previously. So that means that Destiny is starting to miss with their big, hit 1 year DLCs. So, and they basically confirmed it too. They basically confirmed it themselves that the cycle is now going to start being okay, they release like one big DLC a year, and then they add like very little content drops around that. But we're basically only looking forward to one actual big thing a year. And it's like, okay, they basically confirmed the cycle, but the cycle they don't want, which they shouldn't have, is, okay, the DLC is great, then the game gets bad, and this is the thing that really gets me. Bungie has to constantly, and it's every year, they keep coming and they keep apologizing. Like, I really am curious to see, I'm not going to do it now because I feel like it's going to take too much time, but I'm really curious to see how many times we've gotten an apology from Bungie saying, like, yeah, we're sorry, we know the game is this way, we're going to make these changes to make it better. Hey guys, we're sorry, please keep playing our game. Thank you so much, we love the fans, we love you, we're sorry. Like, I feel like there's more than a couple Bungie apology videos about the state of Destiny 2, and it's like, Jesus Christ. I'm just sick of it, and that's the whole thing that gets me. I don't think the game is unfun. In fact, I think the game is very fun. To summarize this whole big hullabaloo I'm doing, it's basically down to these couple points, if I can even remember them correctly. They're putting too much emphasis on old content. We're not getting a lot of new content that's good, or new content in general. And when we do, it's becoming either longer and longer that we have to wait for it, and we're getting shit content in between. So basically that's the sum of it. We're waiting really long, and it's longer and longer and longer for content that might not even be good anymore. Because I remember back in like Destiny 1, right? Maybe I'm seeing it with, again, rosy goggles that I just really like it. But I feel like they didn't miss too many marks with their DLCs there. Maybe Rise of Iron, maybe, even though I did enjoy it, it was good. Maybe it was a little weak. But in general, there wasn't really a bad DLC there. In Destiny 2, I feel like there's a couple that are just like a little weaker. And, you know, Beyond Light being one of them for me. I was like, I'm not getting back for this shit. Forsaken was great. Don't get me wrong. Forsaken was fucking great. And then we go into the discussion now of like, okay, we've outlined the problems. How the fuck do they fix it? In my opinion, there's a pretty easy fix, but it's the hardest one to actually do in reality. Thinking about it is very easy to think about. Just create more new content. Create more new content. Once a year, yeah, have the big content patch that either adds something big and new in, or it does something like crazy new subclass, updated subclass, like, you know, who knows? They'll figure it out. Raid. But, you know, don't just leave us high and dry for the rest. And they've said this before. The problem is people consume content too quickly, and they can't make enough to meet demand. Because once you make more, people are going to consume it faster, and they're going to want more even faster. This is what happens with games and DLCs and everything. Because back in the day, I remember this, again, this was for COD 2. Look at Cold War now. We get DLC drops, and I would argue the quality of them is pretty shit, but regardless, we get actual content updates and drops very frequently than we ever have in Call of Duty's life cycle, right? I'm going back to Black Ops 1. Black Ops 1, we had to wait, like, what, every 3-4 months for a new map? Now in this one, we get, like, you know, every 1.5 month, maybe 2 to 3 for a new content drop. Back then, it was like 4 or 5 months we had to wait. I would say, like, maybe 3 to 5. I don't want to calculate it, but we no doubt waited longer back in the day for DLCs, and we were fine with it. But I would argue that's because the content was really good back then, and we weren't used to it yet. But the faster you come out with content, people will consume it faster than you can make it. It's just a fact. And the problem is, Destiny can't make it fast enough. And I feel like they overwork themselves to produce the one big DLC a year. They burn themselves out, and then they just start making shit because they need to make something to keep the game afloat. But the basic solution is just make more content. Like, just, oh my god, give us more than one strike, please. But they're not going to do that. And that's my main problem. They don't come out with as much content as they used to. And, you know, I don't blame them entirely either, because there is a crunch, and I believe crunch is terrible. But, you know, without crunch, we're kind of getting inferior stuff, and it should be my right if I don't like where the game is going or how much is being released, or even the quality of it, where I'm not going to play it. I still love the game, don't get me wrong. I love Destiny, I put many hours into it. And again, I probably realistically will go back, because I haven't experienced the loop in so long, that even if the loop got worse, the gameplay loop of the one DLC a year that's good, and, you know, you have fun for a couple months where you can, and then you leave, because no other content's really relevant or matters. I haven't experienced that in so long. I probably have some new stuff to do, and it's probably going to be good, because I've taken such a long break. But at this point in time, I can't play Destiny like I used to. It's too much of a time investment, and the content is too fucking mind-numbingly boring and bad to get through. I just refuse to do it, aside from every maybe couple years at this point, because it's been at least a year since I've played, and I feel like if I get on and I do Witch Queen, I won't get on for a long while unless somehow Bungie breaks the cycle and actually starts making good content more than once a year. So that's basically it. I hope I described myself well in all the points I want to make. Again, to reiterate, it's just the content loop over and over again. I got sick of it because it kept getting worse and worse every time. And Bungie kept shoveling us shit, blamed someone else, lied about it, in my opinion. And the game just got a little worse each time until the big DLC saved it. I'll give them this though, the one big DLC every year that they release has been pretty fucking good. No doubt, it's like they always are pretty good. Again, I don't know about Beyond Light because I didn't play it, but that's why I can't really have an opinion on that one. But every big DLC that I've played that they've released that got people back into the game has been very good, and those haven't really received in quality, just the quantity. Because again, I remember for Oryx, we got like 3 fucking strikes, bruh. PlayStation probably got 4. And like now, what? We get 2, 1. I don't think we've gotten 3 in a long time. I hope we get 3. Again, maybe I could be misremembering, but that's just how I feel with Destiny. I'm just sick of the shit and having to constantly deal with the same stuff that gets even worse over time. And obviously there's been improvements to the game, but I feel like you can only really appreciate those if you take a break from all the shit they're flinging at you. But anyway, that's about it. I hope you enjoyed. If you agree or have different opinions, please tell me in the comments, if anyone even watches these. But yeah, I'm out of here. I'm probably going to go play some Psychonauts now and be sad, because I'm always sad and I can't get a job. But anyway, that's other stuff that I'm dealing with on my own. I hope you enjoyed. This is it. I'm done. Bye.